I was gonna go for Wayne
Newton?
Who's Wayne Newton? Oh, that guy. I know him. I used to live in Vegas.
So now
we're gonna tell a story.
Yeah, we're gonna try to recall some fairy tales, and I said obscure fairy tales, and this is what Gail thinks is an obscure fairy tale.
Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella,
featuring
Whoopi Goldberg, that guy, Victor Garber, Paulo Montalban.
Yeah, of course you would remember that one.
I'm Filipino. I like to say Montalban. I can't help it. Brandy.
Who else?
Jason Alexander.
You're missing one.
Bernadette Peters.
Okay, and you're missing a big one.
Whoopi Goldberg.
No, you said her already.
Jason Alexander. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was the fairy godfather. So what happens in this story is that Brandy is born from Bernadette Peters and an unnamed source. Is that what happened?
No, keep going. You're telling this one.
Oh yeah, okay. And then Paulo Montalban, who is my kababayan, finds the slipper. Am I missing a whole lot? Okay, so Cinderella's born, and she has to stay in a stable, and then Drew Barrymore comes in.
No.
Can I tell the Drew Barrymore story? I know that one much better.
All right, let's go for Ever After.
Drew Barrymore is born into a family, and then the dad dies, and then she's like, oh fuck, I died, and then fucking Angelica Houston and that New Zealander lady is
the
like
blonde?
the other one.
Marguerite.
No, the other one. Angelique.
Okay.
They come in and they're like, oh, we're gonna take all your candlesticks and your tapestries, and then Drew Barrymore has to go to the place and try to free the guy, the one slave.
What was the relation of this slave?
He was a friend of Drew Barrymore, and Drew Barrymore was like, I'm gonna go save you. I'm gonna be Comtesse Nicole de Roncourt.
You're not wrong.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. And then the prince follows, and he's like, oh, you're cute, right? Because you're a Comtesse Nicole de Roncourt. And then she's like, yeah, I am Comtesse Nicole de Roncourt. And then they fall in love. And then the gypsies come, and then she piggybacks him. And then she's like, she's like, oh, you can take anything from your back. And she picks the prince from France up. And then the gypsy starts laughing. The gypsy starts laughing because she picked him up. And then
she had good quads.
She did. She had good quads and good triceps and good like everything. And then so the gypsy's like, we'll let you have everything you want. And then they kiss. They kiss in the gypsy farm.
Gypsy farm.
It's a gypsy farm.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, and then the prince goes back to the parents, and he's like, I want to build a library as big as the nation.
The ocean.
The ocean, as big as the nation, and he's like, I want the gypsies to come to our wedding because the prince was supposed to get married to the lady from Spain, and then she
did she cry?
No. Mario. I'm not lying. And then she throws the book that the dad gave Cinderella to Danielle. That's her name. Danielle gives the book and throws it into the fire. And then she's like, oh fuck, that's fucked up. But then Comtesse Nicole de Roncourt / Danielle is in
DeBarbarac.
DeBarbarac. Oh, that's her name, yep.
No,
Becomes friends with Leonardo da Vinci. That's crazy. That Leonardo da Vinci is in this story, and then he walks on water, and
with boat shoes.
Yeah, and then he's like, a nice day for swimming, isn't it?
He says it looks like rain.
It looks. Oh yeah, and then she's like, and then because he like she starts picking apples or something, yeah, and for the donkeys, so she gets put in the cellar, right, and then Leonardo da Vinci's like, oh, I'm gonna set you free, and then the midget guy is like, I have an inkling, and then so she gets to the thing, she's wearing these pretty wings. Oh yeah. The birdfish. So a bird may love a fish, but a fish always eats birds. That's what happens. The fish always eat birds. So she goes to the ball, and she's dressed in these pretty wings, and it's like doo, 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 doo. And then she shows up, and then she's like, oh, but I'm not really Comtesse Nicole d'Ancre. That's my mom. I'm actually Nicole DeBarbarac, and I'm actually a servant of my stepmom. And he's like, oh, I could never love a servant. And then she runs away, and the wings rip off, and then she's like, the stepmom is pissed. The stepmom is so pissed. And then she goes, and then she gets.
Totally share.
She's so pissed. Oh, she gets sold to that guy that always like tries to rape her. He wants to have babies with her, and then puts her in that big castle, and then he wants to break her in. But then the prince was like, oh, but I really love her, even though she's a servant. Oh, but in the beginning though, he kisses her, and then she's like, ow! Cuts over her lashes from the stepmom. And then she gets sold. She gets sold to that guy, and then goes to the castle with all of their things because the stepmom keeps selling it because she's running out of money. And then she's like, fuck, whatever. I'm gonna sell Danielle DeBarbarac because she fucking whatever. And then the Prince of France comes, and then he's like, and he puts this like he puts this really nasty slipper on. And he's like, you're the old princess for me. So she, the stepmother, and then the evil stepsister get called to the prince, the king and queen of France. And then she's like, oh, and then the queen is like, oh, you did all these atrocious things. And then everyone starts bowing. And then you realize that Drew Barrymore is now the princess of France. And then the stepmom was like, the fuck? And then she's like, oh fuck, I am fucked now. And then sentences them to washing garments forever as a slave. Not a slave, a servant for the queen and king and the princess and the prince of France. So they're washing clothes, right? The sister and the evil stepsister and the stepmom, and then they get pushed in. And then all the other servants are laughing, and then they turn blue. It's fucking nuts.
And then someone said, Violet, you're turning violet.
And Leonardo da Vinci's like, oh, I drew this picture. Oh, and then the friend, right? The friend was there. The friend. They had a friend,
really
the guy friend.
Sexual tension. She was like, oh, I still want to bang you, but I married this guy.
But I married the guy that I love. The Hammerstein?
No, Grimm Brothers.
Grimm Brothers go back in they go in the carriage, and then they leave, and then they show a picture of an actual drawing of Leonardo da Vinci that is also Cinderella. Isn't that crazy? And that's the story of Cinderella. End scene. That is ever after.
She was like, I was really upset with your story of the little Cinderella.
Oh yeah. No. You know who was also lispy? Drew Barrymore. Super lispy. She's Comtesse Nicole de l'Ancre.
I'm Danielle DeBarbarac.